Hello, my name's Neil Adam, and I'm from THIS CRESFEST WORLD. I'm one of the people who organises Creswick Music Festival, which takes place at the start of April every year, and I'd really like you to hear some of the interviews that I've been able to do as part of the THIS CRESFEST WORLD podcast. Let's get straight into it with an extract from a conversation I had with Gina Williams, a fantastic Noongar woman from Western Australia who performs with Guy Gauss, her partner, and my goodness, what tremendous performers they are. Let's hear Gina talking about her opera written in the Noongar language.
It's a full-length opera entirely in language. There is no English at all, and it's the second one of its kind. The first one was the first opera that Guy and I wrote, called Kulbadi Wewaradang, which is the story of Magpie and Crow, and that's it was a lovely children's work. But this one was a fully blown, sung-through, grown-up opera. So it was wonderful.
What an amazing thing to take on. Where did you get the story from?
The story is 3,000 generations old. It's been passed down from generation to generation through the family. I'm descendant of this story, and so it was passed on to me when I was I think I would have been about 20 years old, and my uncle took me on top of Mount Brown, Wongbral, which is the sleeping woman, and we looked over at Walwaling, which is called the Place of Tears, and he said, "My girl, I want to tell you about a love story that is of the ages." So people compare it to Romeo and Juliet because I guess they need something to pin it to, but this story predates all of that. And it's a tale of as old as time. Gina
and Guy are one great Australian music story, and here's another one. How does a young man, in this case his name's Owen Salome, come to have a music upbringing in the northwest of Victoria and end up in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, playing as a professional bandoneon player? Well, here's a little bit about his experience there, and you can find more in the whole podcast.
And that's kind of part of the balance of living here, is that you have to get used to the fact that nothing is ever really set in stone. Everything is constantly in flux. And so, on the best version of that is that you can be walking down the street and hear some music and walk around a corner and find a little festival in the street that is happening that nobody tells anybody about, where you'll hear 5 of the best bands you've ever heard in your life, one after another, while you're sitting under a tree drinking some wine and eating chips or whatever. And then the bad version of it is that it can be a gargantuan exercise to do a very simple piece of paperwork or something, to go to the post office and pick up a parcel can take hours and require endless forms.
It was really amazing listening to Owen talking about constructing a life for himself as a bandoneon player in Buenos Aires. And it was equally amazing listening to Mickey and Michelle, 2 great performers, talking about how to get from gig to gig when you insist on walking from gig to gig, not taking your instruments with you, and in the whole process, walking the whole length of New Zealand. Listen to this.
We wanted to do this hike in New Zealand called the Tail Road Trail, which is a 3,000 kilometre hike. And we're sort of trying to figure out a way of making it, it takes about 6 months, and trying to make it kind of more feasible, both sort of financially and probably mentally as well, taking that much time away from music. So had this, I guess, rather wild idea of doing a walking tour, which, walking with a harp is not ideal, and it's not actually what we did because it's not the harp, although I have quite a lightweight one, it's sort of about 8.5 kilos, probably 10 kilos in its soft case. Within this hike, you need to do 9-day stretches, which means that your pack is about 20 kilos without the harp, and also just the shape of it and size of it. We devised a way in order to be able to do this walking tour, which was essentially to ask our lovely audiences whether or not they were travelling, 100 kilometres down the road within the next week or so.
To where our next gig would be.
Yeah, to where our next gig would be. And
I hope you've enjoyed this quick glimpse into the catalogue of fantastic interviews with amazing people, which is the THIS CRESFEST WORLD podcast catalogue. And I look forward to seeing you the next time when I'll take another 3 and give you a quick glimpse into the wonders that are below the surface of THIS CRESFEST WORLD. See ya.